Today, the 2nd of August. Archangel Michael says, I order you to open this now. It's an emergency. The identity of the one who wants to harm you is no longer hidden. Their intentions are not just human, they're influenced by something darker. And heaven has waited long enough for you to notice. Right now, you have 47 minutes left. This may sound like a strange number. But in the divine realm, time is not measured in seconds, it is measured in readiness. This is your moment of spiritual reckoning. This message found you because it was meant to. You've ignored it before, haven't you? Those strange feelings at midnight. The sudden pull to look at the clock. The whisper in your soul that said, something is not right. Archangel Michael has stood by your side in silence, shielding you. Even when you didn't ask. But now, he speaks aloud. This is not a dream. This is not a coincidence. This is your divine interception. A moment where the heavens part for just long enough to let light strike through your confusion. Someone, knowingly or unknowingly, has been projecting energy toward you. Words soaked in envy. Thoughts sharpened like arrows. Smiles hiding hidden harm. But now, Archangel Michael has pulled the curtain back. You are not alone. You are not defenseless. But you are required to listen. Because this time, if you skip it again, you may miss something heaven has already written for you. And not even angels can force you to open a door. If you keep it closed with your own fear. So breathe. Stay. Archangel Michael is not here to scare you, but to awaken you. To warn you. Before it's too late. You've felt it. Haven't you? That quiet sensation in your chest when everything around you is still. Yet your spirit trembles. Those moments when you stare into space for no reason at all. Feeling like something, or someone, is trying to get your attention. It wasn't just your imagination. It was heaven knocking. Again. And again. And again. You may have dismissed it as overthinking. You may have told yourself, I'm just tired. But what you didn't realize is that every whisper, every coincidence, every dream that you forgot the moment you opened your eyes, was a coded message from above. God has been trying to reach you. Not once. Not twice. But repeatedly. And every time you silenced that inner nudge. Every time you scrolled past a sign that felt too close to home. You postponed your breakthrough. Not because you were stubborn. But because you were distracted. This world is noisy. It drowns out the voice of the divine with fear, worry, and endless motion. But heaven speaks in the spaces between. The pauses. The chills. The stillness before sleep. That voice you've been ignoring. That pull you've been brushing off. Was God trying to reach you? Before the storm. But now, the window is narrowing. The energy is shifting. The protection that has been hovering over you is still available. But this time, you must reach back. You see, even angels like Michael, powerful as they are, cannot override your free will. They can surround you, but they cannot force you to receive. And right now, Archangel Michael is whispering this. They've skipped too many messages. They've ignored too many signs. This might be the last gentle call before the shaking begins. Heaven doesn't shout. It whispers. Again and again. Until the silence becomes a warning in itself. You may have missed the first knock. You may have ignored the second. But today, you heard this. And that means your soul is still listening. That's why Archangel Michael says, open now. There is a battle happening around you right now. But it's not made of swords or armies. It's made of energy, of intentions, of light and shadow. And though your physical eyes cannot see it, your soul has felt it. That heaviness in the room when no one is around. That sudden tension when you're about to make a good decision. The way your plans fall apart, right when you feel you're finally moving forward. These are not just coincidences. They are indicators of a spiritual interference. Archangel Michael wants you to understand this. You are not just a body. You are spirit first. A being of divine light temporarily walking this earth. And because of that, you shine. Even when you feel broken. Even when you feel tired. Your light still radiates. And that's what draws attention. But not all attention is pure. There are energies, entities, and even humans who react to your light with discomfort, envy, or resistance. And when those reactions grow strong enough, they ripple into your atmosphere like invisible waves. They attach. They tangle. They confuse. They whisper thoughts that aren't yours. They drain your energy through people you thought you could trust. This is the spiritual warfare Archangel Michael speaks of. A warfare not fought with fists, but with frequencies. You've been waking up exhausted, even after sleeping. You've been questioning your path, even after finding clarity. You've been feeling distant from God, even when praying sincerely. That's because your soul has been under siege. But here's the truth. You've never been alone in this fight. Archangel Michael has been there. Shield drawn, wings stretched wide. Blocking what you didn't even know was aiming for you. Do you remember that car that almost hit you, but didn't? The person you thought would break you, but somehow didn't succeed? That strange sense to not go that day. Or cancel the plan last minute. That was not chance. That was divine protection. That was Archangel Michael intervening. Without asking for credit. But now, things are escalating. And heaven can't do this alone anymore. Because while angels can fight for you, they need your permission to fight with you. You must reclaim your energy. You must say, I agree with heaven's plan over my life. Because the spiritual battle intensifies when you are on the edge of something powerful. And right now, you are. You are about to walk through a door that darkness hoped you'd never find. And that's why the pressure is increasing. Why the shadows are louder. Why your confusion is thicker. But also, why Archangel Michael is speaking now. You're not imagining the resistance. You're being targeted. But you're also being protected. You just need to remember who stands with you. Who is it? That's the question stirring in your spirit right now. Who is trying to harm me? Archangel Michael whispers. You already know. You felt it. It's not always someone far away. It's not always someone you see as an enemy. Sometimes, it's the one who smiles too hard when you succeed. The one who always wants the best for you. But their energy tells a different story. Yes. It may be someone close. Someone who has studied you quietly. Not to understand you, but to mimic you. to measure your progress against their own. Their actions may seem harmless. They may never speak ill to your face. But in the hidden spaces, in thoughts, in unspoken jealousy, in quiet envy, they release a frequency of harm. Spiritual harm. Archangel Michael calls this energetic betrayal. It's not just what someone says. It's what they feel toward you when they're not speaking at all. Sometimes, it's a friend turned silent competitor. Sometimes, it's a relative who carries unhealed resentment. And sometimes, it's someone you once trusted with your dreams. They didn't attack you outright. But they wished just enough harm to invite shadows into your path. They didn't curse you with words. But they carried your name in frustration when you weren't around. And the spirit realm responded. Because thoughts are seeds. And some thoughts grow thorns. Archangel Michael wants you to know. You are not being paranoid. You are not being dramatic. The unease you felt around certain people was divine discernment. Your soul was warning you before your mind could catch up. And now, heaven confirms it. That person, whoever they are, may not even understand the depth of the harm they've caused. Because darkness often uses people who are unaware of their own wounds. But awareness doesn't make you a victim. It makes you prepared. You don't need revenge. You don't need confrontation. You need spiritual boundaries. You need divine protection active, not passive. And that's why Archangel Michael is here. To expose this shadow. Not to name names. But to awaken your knowing. To remind you that your intuition is holy. That tingling feeling you get when someone enters the room. That sudden emotional shift after a phone call. The dreams that leave you unsettled. That was heaven speaking. You already have the answer. You just needed the confirmation. And now, you have it. So step back. Protect your peace. Seal your energy. Because what's coming next in your life requires spiritual clarity. And no shadows hiding behind friendly masks. Take a deep breath. Because Archangel Michael has already moved. Yes, even before you heard this message. Your protection was being prepared. You see, heaven doesn't wait for you to panic before sending help. It sees the storm before you feel the first drop. And while you've been wondering if you're strong enough, Archangel Michael has already drawn his sword. Right now, as you hear this, there is a divine shield rising around you. Not just around your body, but around your energy, your mind, your home, your dreams. The attacks you didn't even know were forming. They're being intercepted. The whispers spoken in secret, they're being reversed. The curses cast in bitterness, they're returning to their sender, purified by divine justice. Because you are not alone. You never have been. Archangel Michael is known not only as a messenger, but as a warrior. A heavenly general appointed by God to defend the chosen from unseen forces. And you, child of light, you are chosen. Chosen to carry purpose. Chosen to break generational shadows. Chosen to rise, even when others fall. That's why the warfare has been so strong. That's why the opposition grew louder. But also, that's why heaven has declared a boundary. Michael's voice thunders through the spirit realm. This soul is protected. No shadow shall pass. But there's something you must understand. Protection is not passive. It's a partnership between you and the divine. You can't pray for peace. And keep inviting chaos through who you allow near you. You can't ask for clarity. And keep ignoring your intuition. So today, make the agreement. Say with your soul, I accept the protection heaven has placed over me. Because when you agree, the shield strengthens. And not just around you, but around your loved ones. Around your path. Around the future that's waiting for you to step into it. This is your covering. This is your safety. And even if you've felt weak, even if you've been trembling inside, heaven has not abandoned you. Archangel Michael walks ahead of you now. Sword blazing. Wings extended. Clearing the way for peace to return. So breathe again. The danger is not yours to carry. The protection is already in place. You've asked the question silently. Why me? Why does it feel like I'm always under pressure? Why do I attract conflict I never asked for? And heaven answers gently. Because you carry something they don't understand. Your light threatens the darkness in others. Even without trying. Your presence awakens what people are trying to hide. Your peace unsettles the restless. Your kindness exposes manipulation. Your quiet strength offends the weak-willed. You are targeted. Because you carry the evidence of purpose. Your soul was not made to blend in. You were never meant to walk a quiet, unnoticed life. There is something heaven marked upon you long before you were born. A code written into your spirit. A mission sealed into your DNA. You carry healing in your voice. You carry awakening in your presence. You carry disruption to systems that benefit from keeping people asleep. That's why the enemy noticed you. Even when you doubted yourself. Even when you thought you were too broken to matter. Even when you were still making mistakes. Darkness still saw your future. And tried to get there first. That's why the resistance started early. Why the rejection came from people who should have loved you. Why the struggle seemed to chase you. Because your story, if fulfilled, will free others. And that is what darkness fears most. You're not just being attacked. You're being identified. By both heaven and hell. And while one side fears your light, the other is preparing you to shine brighter than ever before. Archangel Michael wants you to understand. The attacks are not punishment. They are confirmation. They are signs that the anointing on your life is not imagined. It's real. It's visible in the spirit. And it's growing stronger. But with this power comes responsibility. You must protect what you carry. You must stop explaining your energy to people who are committed to misunderstanding it. You must stop watering down your truth just to stay comfortable in broken spaces. Because every minute you spend in the wrong alignment delays the assignment you were born to fulfill. And heaven is saying, enough delay. Archangel Michael is here now, not just to warn you, but to reveal you to yourself. To remind you, you are a threat to every lie that kept your family in bondage. You are the first in your bloodline to walk in this kind of spiritual awareness. You are the breaking point between the past and a redeemed future. That's why you've been targeted. But that's also why you will not fall. Because your mission is not finished. And heaven protects what it intends to use. 47 minutes. It's not just a number. It's a spiritual code. You see, heaven doesn't operate in man-made clocks. It moves in divine alignment. And 47 minutes is not about seconds ticking. It's about a spiritual window that is open right now. A portal of protection. A moment of choice. A brief, Divine pause before the next phase begins. Archangel Michael is not warning you of destruction. He's inviting you into position. Because something is about to shift. Something deep within you is cracking open. An old cycle is ending. A spiritual door is closing behind you. And a new one is swinging open. But here's the secret most people miss. Spiritual shifts require human agreement. You must say yes to the new frequency. You must choose the higher path, even when it's unfamiliar. You must walk through the fire of truth, instead of hiding in the shade of comfort. Because when the clock strikes spiritually, those who ignored the call miss the miracle. And right now, you have 47 minutes of grace to answer this divine call with your full presence. That doesn't mean you need to change your whole life in this moment. But it means you must become aware. You must declare, I am ready. I receive this message. I allow what is meant for me to come. And when you do that, everything begins to shift. Your thoughts realign. Your energy clears. Your spiritual team strengthens. Your next step becomes illuminated. This is a window. And it is sacred. Don't scroll past it. Don't dismiss this as another emotional video. Your soul is being summoned. Not just for today, but for what's about to unfold after today. So don't watch the clock. Watch the spirit. And know, when you choose to say yes to heaven, heaven moves instantly to meet you. You think this is the first time heaven tried to reach you? No, it isn't. God has been speaking to you quietly, softly, repeatedly, but in ways the world taught you to overlook. You've seen the signs. You just didn't understand them. That moment you kept seeing the same number over and over again. On the clock, on a receipt, on a license plate. That was not a coincidence. That was coded guidance. The dream that woke you at 3:33 a.m. with your heart racing? That wasn't anxiety. That was a visitation. The feather that fell near your feet when no bird was around. The chill down your spine while thinking about someone's name. The light flickering without cause. The person who randomly mentioned angels or Archangel Michael in passing. These were messages disguised as moments. And you knew. You felt something. Your soul paused. Your eyes blinked twice. Your skin tingled. But you shrugged it off. Because logic shouted louder than your spirit. But not this time. Because Archangel Michael has intervened again. And this time, he made sure you wouldn't scroll past. He's saying, I'm making it clear so you finally hear. Right now, as you're listening, more signs are arriving. You'll feel a pressure in your chest, not pain, but presence. You'll hear your name in silence. You'll notice animals behaving strangely. Technology glitching. Or your phone lighting up with divine timing. This is spiritual communication. The language of angels. Not loud, but unmistakable. So pause. Reflect. What signs have you ignored in the past week? What synchronicity keeps repeating? Which name keeps coming up? That's the direction. That's where the next message is hidden. And remember, when Archangel Michael repeats a warning, it means time is no longer patient. Heaven is knocking, again. But this time, you must answer. Right now, even as you listen to this. There is someone in your life, or trying to enter your life, that heaven has blocked you from. Blocked not out of cruelty, But out of mercy. Archangel Michael says, this person carries a spiritual poison, a venom that looks like love but acts like a curse. You may feel drawn to them. You may have prayed for their return. You may wonder why things fell apart so suddenly. Why the connection broke. Why their energy grew cold overnight. And now, you ache. You feel the emptiness. You feel the loss. But what you don't see is the dagger behind the smile. The shadow in their aura. The curse they carry. This person was not aligned with your divine path. They were a test. A distraction. Or worse. A channel for spiritual sabotage. And the closer you got to your breakthrough, the stronger their interference became. You started doubting yourself more. Feeling drained after speaking to them. Losing peace. Losing sleep. Do you remember? Those sleepless nights weren't just emotional. They were energetic warfare. You were under spiritual pressure. Because this person was not just hurting you emotionally. They were feeding off your light. That's why Archangel Michael stepped in. He removed them. Sometimes painfully. So they couldn't touch the blessings that were meant for you. So they couldn't delay your divine alignment. So they couldn't corrupt your next season. This isn't rejection. It's redirection. Heaven is keeping you safe in ways your heart can't yet understand. Sometimes, divine protection feels like abandonment. But it's not. It's a sword in the spirit, drawn between you and destruction. So if you felt people falling away, doors suddenly closing, plans collapsing for no reason, don't panic. Don't chase. Don't beg. Archangel Michael is saying clearly, I removed them because you wouldn't. And what's coming next in your life? The divine favor, the clarity, the restoration. Needs clean space. No toxic soul ties. No disguised enemies. Only truth. Only light. So breathe. You are protected. You are not alone. And this protection is proof that your purpose is far greater than you imagined. Archangel Michael says, you have exactly 47 minutes from the time this message reached you, because something has already been set in motion. This is not metaphor. This is not coincidence. This is divine mathematics. In the spiritual realm, time doesn't flow the same as on earth. It moves in divine windows. Portals of destiny. Where your choices lock in outcomes. Right now, you're in one of those sacred windows. And the countdown has begun. This moment you're in. The very second your eyes landed on this message. Heaven said, send the alarm. Because you are being watched. Not just by angels. But also by entities that wish to stop what's coming your way. There is a shift forming. A turning point that will either elevate you spiritually, or spiral you back into a cycle that took you years to crawl out of. And in the next 47 minutes, you will be tempted to scroll away. To forget what you've heard. To go back to life as usual. But Archangel Michael warns. If you ignore this, the door will close. Not forever. But long enough to delay your miracle. Long enough to reset the battle. Long enough to drain you again. You don't have time for that. You've already battled too much. You've healed too hard. You've prayed too long. This moment, this 47-minute window, is not about fear. It's about activation. You must speak out loud. I align with divine timing. I walk only through doors heaven opens. That phrase seals your vibration. It declares to every watching spirit, angelic or demonic, that you choose light. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to be ready. You just need to be present. For the next 47 minutes. Stay conscious. Stay prayerful. Stay aware. Listen to your gut. Avoid distractions. Refuse fear. Because the spirit realm is moving faster than usual. And something shocking is approaching. Something meant to awaken, not destroy. Archangel Michael is guarding your timeline. But you must agree with heaven. This is the moment. Don't let it pass you by again. You may think God has been silent. But in truth, He's been speaking the same message to you again and again. In the quiet moments. In the repeating numbers. In that recurring dream. In the unexpected encounter with a stranger who said something so specific, it left you shaken. And still, you doubted. Still, you brushed it off. Still, you told yourself, maybe it's just coincidence. But Archangel Michael now leans in and says, you are not imagining this. These are not random occurrences. Heaven has been shouting through whispers. Yes, shouting through whispers. Because the divine doesn't always scream. Sometimes it comes as a flutter in the chest. A name that pops into your head. A gut feeling that something's off. And when you ignore it, the message repeats. Not to annoy you, but to rescue you. Heaven keeps tapping your shoulder, saying, turn left, not right. Go now, not later. Trust now, not next week. Yet your human logic battles your spiritual knowing. You've heard the same song over and over again in strange places. You've been seeing butterflies when no season calls for them. You keep waking up at 3:33 a.m. You sense someone watching, not with fear, but a divine pull. These are heaven's breadcrumbs. Your soul has been led, step by step. But your mind keeps second-guessing the map. And Archangel Michael wants to be blunt now. Enough delay. Enough doubt. You asked for signs. Heaven delivered them. Now it's your move. Pause. Reflect. Go back over the last 30 days of your life. That random encounter? That dream you shrugged off? That one video you weren't even searching for, but it pulled you in? None of it was random. All of it was orchestrated. Because God doesn't beg. But He does pursue. And if you're still breathing, if you're still watching this, if your heart still races while hearing these words, then you haven't missed it. You still have time. But not forever. This message is the final repetition before a shift takes place. Right now, whisper in your soul. I hear you, God. I am listening now. Because the next sign will not be subtle. And you must be spiritually awake to receive it. You're not here by accident. Archangel Michael has been trying to reach you because a spiritual shockwave is on the horizon. And those who are not spiritually prepared will be caught unaware. This event isn't ordinary. It's not just a test. It's a divine shakeup, something that will expose truth, reveal enemies, break illusions, and shift timelines. Right now, heaven is moving pieces behind the scenes. Sudden departures. Unexpected reunions. Shocking truths coming to the surface. But for you, This event is meant to be liberation, not devastation. A shift, not a collapse. You'll see people fall away. People you thought were permanent. But Archangel Michael whispers, these people were not assigned to your next chapter. Let them go before they're removed forcefully. You'll receive an opportunity that feels too big, too fast, too miraculous. Don't resist it. Because it's not your doing, it's God's alignment. But with the blessing comes pressure. With the elevation comes exposure. And that's why this message arrived now. To prepare your soul before the storm hits. The energy around you may feel heavier. You may be feeling sudden fatigue, dizziness, waves of anxiety for no logical reason. That's not just emotion. That's your spirit sensing the tremor of what's about to unfold. Michael says, this is not to punish you. This is to awaken you. A great revealing is coming, and you must be found ready. Because when this shocking event unfolds, the world around you will be confused. But you will know. Your eyes will open. You'll feel a surge in your chest like lightning. Not fear, but divine clarity. You'll remember this moment, this message, and you'll say, he warned me, and am ready. So breathe. Brace your soul. Because what's coming will feel like a storm at first. But it's actually a sacred clearing. And when the dust settles, you'll see the truth of who you are, what you carry, and why you were called. Heaven doesn't send warnings without cause. This is your moment to stand, not shrink. The shock is not coming to you. It's coming for you. To prepare. To activate. To finally free you from everything that was holding you back. And Michael says, the next 47 minutes are sacred. What you do now will echo through eternity. Have you ever wondered why it seems like no matter how hard you try, something unseen keeps resisting you? Why certain doors shut just when you're about to step into them? Why relationships you trusted suddenly became weapons? Why your peace never lasted? It wasn't your fault. It was warfare. Silent. Invisible. But very real. Archangel Michael wants you to know. You were marked, not for destruction, but for greatness. And that very light within you, the one heaven sees, is what attracted the attacks. You were born with a divine assignment. And from a young age, the enemy saw your potential. Before you even knew how powerful your spirit was. They did. And so the attack began. Cycles of rejection. Betrayals that nearly broke your trust. Financial warfare. Health issues out of nowhere. Emotional exhaustion that made you question if you'd survive another day. But you're still here. And that fact alone terrifies the enemy. Michael says, they tried to destroy your mind, your joy, your path, but failed. Because heaven always had you wrapped in light, even when you couldn't feel it. This war was never just about what was taken from you. It was about what you're about to carry. A new frequency. A new level. A spiritual mantle that's going to shift the atmosphere wherever you go. But listen closely. The enemy doesn't fight empty vessels. They only fight the anointed. And you have been anointed through the fire. Refined. Strengthened. Awakened. You didn't survive by accident. You were being prepared for something so much bigger than comfort. You are a spiritual weapon. And this is why the attacks came. But the time for defense is over. Now is the time for divine offense. Michael is not just shielding you anymore. He is arming you, empowering you, positioning you for the very calling the enemy hoped you'd never discover. So don't fear the warfare. Recognize it as proof that you are chosen. And heaven has now stepped in. And when heaven fights for you, no darkness, no betrayal, no witchcraft can prevail. This war ends with you rising. Because what the enemy meant for harm, God is now using for divine elevation. Right now, Archangel Michael leans in and whispers something heaven has kept hidden from you until this very moment. You, yes, you, have been chosen for a divine mission. And Michael says there are 3 unmistakable signs the heavens always send to reveal that someone has been handpicked for a higher calling. If you feel even one of these, then what's coming isn't a coincidence, it's a sacred activation. Let's begin. Sign 1, the isolation before the awakening. Have you been feeling distant from people? Like you're being pulled away from certain environments, even friendships that once felt comforting? Michael says, God pulls you apart before he sets you apart. When your spirit is being prepared for something sacred, you will feel alone. But this is not abandonment. This is alignment. Heaven is removing distractions, so your soul can hear the divine instruction clearly. Sign 2, strange warfare that makes no sense. Attacks start to come from places you never expected. People you loved turn cold. You feel targeted without cause. Why? Because the enemy can sense your spiritual promotion before you can. Michael reveals, when heaven authorizes your next level, hell throws its final tantrum. So if it feels like everything is going wrong, look again. It's because something very right is about to unfold. Sign 3, unshakable knowing that something bigger is coming. Even if life is hard, there's a knowing in your chest. A silent inner whisper saying, this can't be it. There's more. That's not your imagination. That's your spirit remembering your mission. Archangel Michael confirms. That stirring in your soul, that ache in your chest, is not restlessness. It's divine urgency. Heaven is pressing on you because heaven wants to release through you. These 3 signs are not random. They are your spiritual confirmation. You are not just surviving this season. You are stepping into your mission. Michael has seen it in your aura. He has witnessed the battles you never spoke about. And now, heaven has marked this exact moment to activate you. Prepare. Because your soul is about to remember why it came here in the first place. Listen closely. Because what I'm about to reveal is no longer a prophecy. It's unfolding right now, and it involves you. At exactly 2 a.m. today, the timeline of heaven shifted. Archangel Michael says, when God speaks and no one listens, the timeline bends toward divine correction. The 47-minute countdown is not symbolic. It's sacred and real. It's the window of mercy left open for you to respond. This isn't just about seeing signs or receiving guidance anymore. This is about choosing whether you want to walk the path heaven designed for you, or allow darkness to reroute your destiny. Michael shows a scroll in the heavens, your name is etched into it. But erase what he reveals. If you wait too long, if you hesitate one more time, the alignment written for you will pass into someone else's hands. That's how serious this is. Within these next 47 minutes, Milky Way, someone will receive a vision. Milky Way, someone will feel a calling so strong it shakes their sleep. Milky Way, and someone will feel attacked spiritually, because light has begun to expose hidden darkness. Which one will you be? This moment is your spiritual interception. Everything you've experienced, the delays, the heartbreaks, the mysterious pull toward something greater, was preparing you for this holy crossroads. Michael says, when the timeline shifts, those with divine sight must move first. That's why you're hearing this now. Because you were chosen to move, not to hesitate. So what happens next depends not on chance, but on your response. Will you open your spirit fully? Will you finally say yes to the divine instructions that keep coming back over and over again? There are no more signs coming after this one. The clock is ticking, 47 minutes. And what you do with this moment will ripple through the next 7 years of your life. Michael is not warning you out of fear. He's pleading with you. Because he sees what's on the other side if you ignore this again. You felt it, haven't you? That strange pull in your chest. The voice that echoes just before you fall asleep. The repeated numbers, the dreams, the coincidences that feel too sharp to be random. Those weren't accidents. They were heaven's signals, and God was calling. But here's the truth Archangel Michael wants you to understand today. You didn't miss the signs. You silenced them. Because of what you were taught to fear. Somewhere along your journey, someone convinced you that you weren't worthy. That hearing God's voice was for the chosen few. That if he didn't speak in thunder and miracles, it wasn't him. But that was a lie. God has whispered through every heartbreak. He's spoken through people you met for only minutes. He cried with you when no one else knew what you were facing. Michael shows a vision. A child lost in a dark maze, surrounded by angels holding lanterns. But the child, you, kept walking in circles. Because the voices of shame and unworthiness were louder than the divine ones. Right now, Michael says, heaven is closer than your breath. But noise is the enemy of clarity. You haven't failed. You're not disconnected. You're just surrounded by too much interference. The guilt you've carried. The distractions. The cycles you can't seem to break. All of it is fog, designed to muffle the divine frequency. But today, for the first time in a long while, that fog is lifting. Michael says, when the timeline shifts, clarity returns to the chosen. That's why this message found you now. Because God hasn't given up on you. He's breaking through to you. And the moment you acknowledge this, you'll begin to hear again. Not in thunder, but in truth. In the quiet sigh that says, you're not alone. In the inner pull that whispers, you're not done yet. Right now, you're being reconnected. And that reconnection will bring a revelation so strong. It will change how you see everything. Right now, as you listen to this, something invisible is moving in the spiritual realm. Archangel Michael stands at the edge of a great divide. To your left, a path of light. Glowing with divine purpose, filled with peace, healing, and the life you were always meant to live. To your right, a path drenched in illusion. Familiar chaos, repeated betrayals, delays, and spiritual emptiness. The war over your destiny, Michael says, has reached its final phase. This is not a metaphor. Michael sees it clearly. He sees the dark force that has stalked your lineage for generations. It tried to silence your gifts. It whispered lies into your bloodline. You're cursed. You're not meant to rise. God doesn't hear you. But now, the truth is being exposed. Right now, Michael has drawn his sword. And the enemy? It's panicking. Because you were not supposed to hear this message. You were not supposed to awaken. But you have. You're no longer asleep in your own life. And that awareness, that awakening, it has already shifted your energy field. Michael shows your soul glowing, brighter than it's ever been. The enemy cannot touch what is fully surrendered to divine light, he declares. But this final battle isn't just external. It's also within you. The battle between who you've been and who you were always meant to become. There's a version of you, rising, who is fearless, clear, connected. That version is already emerging, and the spiritual resistance around you is a desperate last attempt to stop it. That's why things have felt so heavy lately. Why you've been tested more in the past weeks than in the past year. Because right before the breakthrough comes the battlefield. Michael says, do not be afraid of the pressure, it is proof that your light is expanding. Heaven is fighting for you. But you must choose your side. Will you return to what once broke you? Or will you step into what was divinely written? This is your moment. Your name has been spoken in the higher realms. Not once. Not twice. But repeatedly. Over and over, heaven has whispered your name, into time, into prophecy, into moments of silence when you thought no one was listening. Why do I keep seeing signs? You've asked. Why do I feel watched, guided, pulled? Even when I'm alone? Because you're not imagining it. When God calls a soul by name repeatedly, it is not a ritual, it's a divine activation. Archangel Michael reveals something few are ever told. Every time your name is echoed in the heavens, a part of your destiny stirs awake. That's why you felt restless. That's why the old ways no longer fit you. You are no longer who you used to be. The version of you that was forgotten, left behind, dimmed down, it's no longer compatible with the frequency heaven is assigning to you now. You're stepping into a higher assignment. But there's something you must know. Repeated divine callings often come before something shocking, something that requires your full attention and spiritual readiness. Heaven isn't trying to scare you. Heaven is preparing you. Michael says, when a soul resists the call, delays multiply. But when a soul listens and obeys, timelines collapse, and blessings rush in. That's why you're hearing this now. That's why your name has been echoing through your dreams, songs, numbers, even in whispers from strangers. Heaven is calling you home. To yourself. To your power. To your purpose. Right now, Archangel Michael urges you to say this aloud. I accept the calling. I surrender to divine timing. I am ready. When you speak it, your name lights up in the spiritual records like a torch in the dark. And then, protection begins to move. Doors open. Warfare ceases. Because you are no longer just wandering. You are walking chosen, Archangel Michael says. Final protection is not automatic. It is activated by awareness. By obedience. By listening. And you. You are listening right now, but will you respond? This moment is not random. You were pulled here because there are only minutes left before the shift occurs. Michael warns. The final shield is being released to cover those who are spiritually alert. Those who wait will be exposed. He's not talking about physical danger alone. This is about spiritual traps. Emotional ambushes. Old cycles returning. People disguised as blessings but sent to dismantle your peace. This shield, it is divine. It is ancient. It was once used in battles you only read about. It was once placed over prophets, messengers, and warriors of light. And today, it is being offered to you. But it comes with a test. Will you listen? Will you stop running? Will you trust the instructions sent through divine messengers? Because many souls will receive the same opportunity today. But only a few will activate it. Michael is clear. There is no middle ground. You are either covered, or you're not. And if you're not, you may feel the storm others don't. You may face resistance others avoid. You may walk alone when divine protection could have walked beside you. So, what must you do? You must accept the instructions. Stay still long enough to hear heaven speak. Take the detour, even if it doesn't make sense. Leave the place, even if it's familiar. Say yes to the prompting, even if it feels uncomfortable. Because God has tried to reach you repeatedly. This is not the first time. But it could be the last before impact. Right now. Say silently in your spirit. Archangel Michael, cover me. I will not delay. I receive the final shield. I will obey. And as those words settle in your being, the divine realm takes action. The shield is placed. The mark is set. The angelic guard is released. Now, you walk protected. But stay ready. Because the final revelation is coming. Archangel Michael speaks with divine urgency. In 47 minutes, something that has been kept from your vision will be exposed. A spiritual trap, carefully laid for months, is about to trigger. This is not fear. This is forewarning. Because heaven never allows harm to reach you without a warning first. This trap is not obvious. It doesn't look dangerous. In fact, it may come wrapped in kindness, wrapped in what you prayed for. But it's not from God. Right now, something is heading toward you. A decision, a message, a meeting. That will either elevate you or entangle you. Michael shows it clearly. Someone will reach out to you. But they come with spiritual strings attached. Their smile hides a hidden motive. Their timing is not divine. Their purpose is to distract, delay, and derail. Listen. This is why Archangel Michael ordered you to open this today, on the 2nd of August. He says, the moment you hear this, a clock starts. In the next 47 minutes, signs will begin to appear. You'll hear a name. You'll feel something off. You'll remember a dream. You'll feel your stomach tighten when you see them. That's not anxiety. That's discernment. You are being spiritually alerted. Because you are on the edge of something massive, either a miracle or a manipulation. This is your crossroads. This is your test. Will you step into it blindly? Or will you wait, watch, and ask Michael to show you the truth? Because if you pause, if you resist the urge to act too quickly, the trap will be exposed. The fake will fall away. And the real blessing, delayed by months, will finally locate you. Michael whispers now. Stay in silence for the next few moments after this. Do not speak. Do not respond. Just observe. Heaven is moving. The shocking thing coming is not the attack. It is the revelation of who has been watching you, copying you, desiring to replace you in your divine calling. But they cannot win. Because you are now under warning. Archangel Michael lowers his flaming sword and says softly, now, I will tell you. The name of the one who carries the spirit of imitation. This is the person who wants to replace you. Not just in life, but in destiny. Heaven is not concerned with their physical name. No, the identity revealed today is deeper. It's spiritual. You've seen them. You felt competition when there should have been support. You've noticed them copying your words, mimicking your presence. They're not inspired by you, they're obsessed. Michael reveals this person's spirit name. Jezebel. Do not misunderstand. This is not a gender. It's a spiritual assignment, manipulative, cunning, seductive to the soul. They present as a friend. They speak like they support you. But inside, they burn with envy. Because they see something on you that they cannot access. They want your voice, your position, your light. But what they don't understand is that it was never yours to begin with. It was God's anointing, placed upon you before you were even born. Right now, Archangel Michael stands behind you. And he whispers. This person may contact you within the next 48 hours. Do not engage in long conversations. Do not explain yourself. Do not try to fix what heaven is separating you from. It will feel emotional. It may even feel cruel. But remember this. They were only sent to imitate, not to elevate. They cannot carry what is on your life. Michael is cutting soul ties, even now. You may feel sudden tiredness. You may feel memories returning, old wounds, betrayals. This is spiritual detox. Right now, say this with your heart. Archangel Michael, sever every hidden tie I cannot see. Protect what God has given me. Reveal every imitator. And preserve my place in your divine design. Heaven heard you. And something just shattered in the spiritual realm. The name may not be spoken out loud. But it will be revealed in signs. Their face in a dream. Their name in a conversation. A message from the past. You will know. And you will feel peace, not panic, because now, you are covered. And now, as this divine message comes to a close, Archangel Michael steps forward one final time. His wings are wide. His sword glows brighter than before. And his voice, gentle, but commanding, speaks directly to you. Heaven has tried to reach you so many times. But today, you finally heard. You finally opened the message. And now, everything will shift. There's a silence. A pause in the realm between earth and the divine. And you feel it, something has been lifted off your soul. A burden. A fear. A pattern. Broken. Gone. You are no longer unprotected. You are no longer confused. You are chosen. Archangel Michael now places his hand above your head and whispers. From this day forward, you are sealed. No harm shall reach you. No voice shall deceive you. No shadow shall block your path. And no imitation shall replace you. Feel that warmth in your chest. That sudden calm in your spirit. That's the confirmation. He's with you now. This wasn't a coincidence. This wasn't just a video. This was a divine encounter. Fire if your soul resonated with this. Stay close. Archangel Michael has more to reveal. He speaks often, but only the protected ones hear. Tap subscribe to remain in this divine alignment. And if you feel called to support this divine work, you can now send a super thanks to bless and fuel more messages from the angelic realm. Every offering you send carries light. And heaven sees it. You've been warned. You've been blessed. And now, you are free. Archangel Michael is watching. And you are under his wings.